Hello Gemini, hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate and empower you guys. Hello my friends, hello. I feel we're very much still on the topic of light workers, so hello light workers, hello fellow light being. I asked if this was supposed to be a collective reading and they said no, it's for you Gemini, but whoever feels called and resonates with this, it's for you. Please also watch the Lightworkers reading if this resonates with you, is what they're saying. And I'm saying, I'd like to add, please only do that if it resonates, okay? And if you feel called to. What they were immediately given me is something that's on Elena Fairchild's deck. It's Rise of the Soul Tribe of Sacred Guardians and Inspired Visionaries. And that's what's happening right now. I also want to add Rise of the Divine Feminine. We're having that strongly with the Age of Aquarius, where we're coming into our power, moving away from powerlessness, from not taking responsibility to taking responsibility, and hence getting the chance to step into our power. This is moving away from Pisces into Aquarius, okay? The other thing I'm feeling strongly, and my nervous system is really amped up. I'm picking up on collective energies, even when I'm not reading for you. This is a full-time job, basically. And so, same for you. This is a full-time job. If you identify as a light worker, as someone that is tapped into collective energy and is dedicated to raising vibration on planet Earth or elsewhere, I should say, you're going to be feeling what's happening right now. The war between Israel and Palestine, then the Russia-Ukraine situation, like things are really amped up, and I'm really getting this feeling here. And like I said, my nervous system is really tingly. It's really like this, what's gonna happen? I'm not thinking that, but I'm totally picking up on it. So people are very anxious in the wider collective, I want to say, Gemini, and I totally feel it. It's like, if you really tapped yourself into that, it's like, oof, kind of like that. People are freaking out a little bit, and be mindful so your own energies don't get too much intertwined with the energies of the collective, I want to say. Try to stay in one thing. This is why they were pointing out the Lightworkers reading, because there's a choice point here where you choose love or you choose devil energy, okay? And that's what that basically was. Neither one is good or bad. It leads somewhere. That's what the Lightworkers reading was about, if you're interested. Sacred Rebel Lightworker. And they're highlighting Elena Fairchild. If you haven't gotten any of her decks, I highly recommend her. I'm not getting paid for this. I just love her so much. And yeah. Guidance for living a unique and authentic life. Guidance and empowerment for those who love the light. And that's who I'm reading for here as well. This one, yes. Okay. We are starting off strong here, Gemini, with your reading. And we're going to have a look at your current situation, the higher view over your situation, and what you can do to help yourself. We have death and rebirth. So very much scorpionic energies. Something needs to die. And I'm still feeling it could have been a collective reading, yours, but it isn't. They explicitly said it was for you. So whoever is drawn to it is going to watch it anyways. That's exactly what's happening. Something is coming to a very close, that is dying off, that needs to die off, because it's just time. You know, when it's time for something to go, it's time for it to go. But then the rebirth is immediately there already. The tricky point of it is that you can't really quite tell yet, but you will be able to feel it already, that closing in point. It's much like your intuition in my stomach. It's just like, you know, when you're feeling something or like bad energy from another person, if it's like really bad, you can definitely feel it, and it's gonna make you jump away almost. And that's what I'm feeling here, only that you can't really jump away from those energies because they're so present. That is not to say that you need to tap yourself into those and like take a plunge. That's not what I'm saying, but they're so present enough, much like 2020 when COVID hit. People were just incredibly anxious, and that can be felt. Same right now, and with everything else that is going on. It's not just the two things I mentioned in the beginning. Ground yourselves a lot, I want to say. Ground yourselves a lot. We're in for a wild ride. We have been for the past years. There's something about burned wood. So charcoal, and then charcoal can be pressed into a diamond. If I'm not misinformed, because I recently read that that's not actually how diamonds happen, but let's stick with that analogy. Let's pretend that's what happens. So the charcoal and then a lot of pressure and that turns into a diamond. So whenever there are hard times, they have a saying, when hard times make strong men, right? And weak times make weak men. It goes the same for females, I reckon, as well. So it'll produce, the pressure of the situation right now will produce interesting people because it brings certain traits out within us. We're being displayed and shown a part of ourselves that we otherwise would not have seen. This is in the realms of soul development, okay? Soul growth, spiritual growth, personal growth. The light is with us always. As you can see, it's very present. And death, again, isn't the end of things. It isn't when you're dying, it isn't the end of things, and it isn't when you're having an ego death or when part of yourself is dying, right? Excuse me. These are intense, like I'm feeling like, whoa, like this. Whoa. Oh my God. So yeah, the light is always with you, it's always there, but at times, especially when you're asking, because sometimes that can happen where you almost don't get an answer, or where you feel like, where's my guidance? Where is it? Like, where are you? I want to feel you. I need you right now. And usually I would say that works. They're coming in. But then there are moments, Gemini, where they're not immediately there, or where you can't perceive them immediately. And that's for that specific lesson of learning to have trust, learning to have faith, much like the fool that steps on the rainbow. It doesn't make sense, it's not logical, yet he or she does it anyways because they're trusting in the process. And most of all, they're trusting in their own abilities. Even if they were to fall, something would catch them, or they would catch themselves. And that's an important thing to learn in terms of empowerment, as they said in the very beginning. I'm gonna bring both of these in. We have, sorry, here we go, rose quartz and what's that again? I feel this is my stone for like heavier energies. I forgot the name. I keep forgetting names. I'm not good with these things. So anyways, these two, to me, it immediately symbolized lightheartedness, much like in the light worker reading. And we have like the heavier energies. I usually have that actually on the light workers, the light seers tarot deck. I have that on there, which is interesting because you would assume it needs lighter energies, but it does not. Not here, not with me. And so there is the pathway of the more heavier energies, much like you can see any situation or occurrence that you're faced with in different ways. Either you're approaching it with love or you're approaching it with a devil energy, meaning, oh my God, I'm just going to be very drastic. Oh my God, we're all going to die. It's going to end. It's the apocalypse. So the fear-based energies. Or you're saying this needs to happen, and neither one is good or bad. This needs to happen in order that something else can come out, something more beneficial. Because if you may have observed within yourself, whenever you're going through an ego death, that kind of feels straining at times and feels weird and feels literally sometimes when you have it really heavy, like you are dying or part of you is dying. And yet then there is this other component of like when you're out on the other end, it feels tremendously amazing. You're more your authentic self, which is incredible as well. Do you see the difference here? Same with the situations that are going on right now. And I know this is really hard to do, especially when you're seeing that there are children dying, children are being murdered and killed. And this is very, very hard to do. So please be gentle and kind with yourself in your approach to this. Anything is valid, I want to say. Just know that you can tap yourself into other energies as well here to see it from the higher viewpoint, if that is possible. If not, you can take it as an exercise and still send love in the direction that you feel fearful in, or towards yourself. Okay, I hope I'm being understood here properly. Yes, and even if not, there's nothing I can do about that. Number 13. To some, 13 is like an unlucky number. We recently also had a Friday 13th. And I found it interesting how the different connotations to that as well. So they're bringing it up here yet again. You can see it from a fearful perspective, or you can be like, oh, 13 is actually a really cool number, for example, and see it from a place of love. So there's the decision here for you as a light worker. And Byron Katie said something really, really important, because it was actually about dying polar bears. So a lady was really, really upset and almost forgot to live her life, or completely forgot to live her life, because she was so focused on the polar bears and how bad their situation was, and that they were dying. And so she turned that around. She was able to actually make the lady laugh about her perspective of it, because she emphasized this one in terms of, oh, the polar bears, the polar bears, the polar bears, la la la. And so the lady finally laughed, because it was ridiculous. And I'm not saying what's happening and your reaction to it is ridiculous. That's not what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain via example that she then realized, oh, I'm not serving this situation. Matter of fact, I may make it worse energetically by visualizing more of what we don't want into the situation, versus if you stepped into love and yes, dealt with your emotions when it comes to that, but then turned it around into something, transforming it, death and rebirth, transforming it into something that serves the whole a lot better in the situation, and yourself too. Because when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling depleted, you're operating on a level that may not benefit you so much, okay? When you're up there, you can influence those situations way greater. And as a light worker, as an inspired visionary, a sacred guardian, you have great power, great influence. And that's what we're all waking up to more and more, our own power. That's why it's also so important that we learn responsibility along with it, that we learn to be humble with those powers too, because if we're not humble, we're going to have a second Atlantis, I want to say, okay? Yeah, okay. Yes, yeah, here we go. That's us together, soul tribe. 3 of Cups, that's the soul family, rise of the soul tribe for sure. That's that. Coming together, even if not physical, we're all united, we're all rising. That was in the twin flame reading as well, where they showed the merry-go-round and how we were spinning in force, and it was going all the way up, and then with that rising the vibration on planet Earth. It's very important, and that's what they keep saying, to not fall into the fear state, to not allow this to happen. It's a conscious choice. Counteract with meditation, counteract with grounding to Mother Earth. And with that, and with bringing you the message, I really feel my whole nervous system is calmed down, which is beautiful, because those anxious states, I want to say, when you don't do something about it, if we don't do something about it, it'll take you to more of that, and that's not necessarily beneficial. Although it could be, if you then would work with the whole situation, there's also good to come out of that. Okay, what else? What else for Gemini? More of this? No, okay. Not more of this. This one. What else? That's what I thought. This one, yeah, okay. I was there all along. That's so funny. That's often how these things work, where you're realizing, oh, it was there all along. Like the higher view of things was there all along. If you only are tapping yourself into that, then you'll see. And sometimes we just don't want to tap ourselves into that for whatever reason. And that is completely up to you and what you choose to do in whichever situation. There is no judgment ever. You have, yes, definitely. Some of you are really going through exactly what I described in the beginning of the reading. So, dear guardian angel, to you I pray. When I'm fearful, help me to remember that only love is real. Precisely what we were talking about. 1441. There's a mirroring action that's happening right now. 1441. What you project out there, you'll receive. Love, love. Fear, fear. Anxiety, anxiety. Woo! I was really feeling that one. When I am lost, help me find my way. When I am confused, help me to regain clarity. When I feel lonely, help me feel your loving presence. When I perceive chaos, help me to see order. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here. 1550. It's not 1551, but 1515. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, light, and shadow. We'll now take it over to the extended to Patreon. It's $11.11 a month. If you just want to support and want to receive occasional healing messages, and participate in polls and just support the channel, there's a $2 tier as well. I highly appreciate your support. If you want to access the extended, anything that was created and everything that will be created within that month, it's 11/11. And if you want to opt out at any time, you just do so. It's as easy as that, okay? But you might just like it and stay. Check it out if you want to. I also want to point out, I forgot that in the beginning, that I've been really creative recently, and I've created a bunch of really nice images. And you can check those out. It's merch basically, but it's really cool stuff. And just to look at it's really beautiful. I like it a lot. It's on, you can find it on Redbubble right now. I'll attach the link. I can't attach that to my YouTube channel, but I'll attach the link so you can access it if you want to and check it out. See if you like it as much as I do. Okay, sweethearts. So much love, light, and shadow to you. I'll either see you over on Patreon or next time. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. See you soon. Bye.